Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dr. Ronnie, the self-love doctor, aka Urban Sage. I wanted to talk a little bit today about ancient medicine and what's going on in the world today. There's a lot of fear and panic after this coronavirus became known as a pandemic. And like I said, I always want you to question your perception. Don't follow something blindly. Learn and do your own research, and come to your own conclusions. So, why I wanted to talk today was the fact that if you want to look at science, that's fine. It's all fine and dandy. And here's what I'm going to say about me. When I was an undergrad as a kinesiology major, you go through the biologies, etc. I was a die-hard science and research supporter. Like, nothing about ancient medicine could get through this shell and brain that was so science-based. In fact, a good example is just last weekend, I was talking to my cousin about weed, and he was like, I can't believe you actually smoke it now and you do it, because back in the day you were so against it, like, it's a drug, it's this, like, shouldn't do it. And he was shocked to hear where my mind is at in regards to marijuana now, this many years later. So the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that it's okay to change. It's okay to learn something new today and start applying it moving forward and evolving as a person. You don't have to stay stuck in your ways. I chose finally to open my mind to different things after I started my spiritual journey in 2008. Like I said, I've always felt God was in my heart, love was in my heart. And it wasn't until 2008 that I chose to consciously take that path and start reading more spiritual scriptures. And that's when my personal evolution began, especially in the way that I think about things and the faith that I have in something greater than myself, whether you want to call it God, the universe, whatever. But one of the things that led me to now accepting marijuana was the fact that it comes from nature. It's not a man-made substance. It actually comes, obviously there's different strains and stuff now, but it's essentially something that comes from nature. And I think what's happened in the world now is that man has forgotten that they are one with nature. Just because we have a mind and we can dig deep into certain things, you also have to remember that you are nature. And it's been interesting because while I was in medical school, I was on my spiritual journey as well. So I got to learn and process, obviously, medicine, which is just physical medicine. It's digging deeper and deeper into the physical aspect. But it doesn't take into account energy on another level. And all medical students have to take physics and chemistry. And I don't know at what point you forget that there's energy involved in those things, and it applies to the human body. So that can be a topic for a whole nother day. Moving forward with this, ancient medicine, things like Ayurveda, traditional Chinese medicine, they remind the human how much alike to nature we are. So remembering that you are nature means you mimic nature's cycles, and also means that nature can help heal you, right? Now, for those of you that were in sciences, that took biology, etc., when you learn the evolution of the cell, you learn we all originated from a single-celled organism, right? Essentially bacteria, which makes sense as to why there's cures for bacterial infections, i.e., what was the cure for bacterial infection in the past? Fungus. Penicillin was made from a fungus. It was made from nature to help eradicate a bacterial infection, right? And of course, I won't go too deep into the fact that mankind, again, starts using it to make money or whatever, and then that's when it all shit hits the fan. Now there's bacteria that are resistant to the basic penicillins because of that. Now, when it comes to viruses, you learn in medical school there's no cure for them, right? Why is there no cure? They're man-made. If it's man-made, how is there no man-made cure for it, right? Vaccines aren't a cure, right? They're just exposing you to them more. So going back to the nature aspect, every year we go through winter, right? In winter, everything gets built up in the body. Not just for the reason of we're eating more and retaining fat because it's colder, but what are you eating? With all those holidays, most people consume a lot of sugar, a lot of dairy. Those things cause a buildup in the body. And this buildup is not a healthy buildup. But after winter solstice, when the sun starts staying up out longer, temperatures start warming up. That includes your body's homeostasis. Now, yeah, temperature's roughly, oh my God, I'm having a total brain fart, 98.6. Right? But that buildup in the body starts dissolving. And when it starts dissolving, it becomes a runny nose. It becomes discharge or, mucus. And your body wants to eliminate it. Your body wants to eliminate it because it doesn't need to stay in the body. It wants to be out of the body. Your body naturally wants to protect you. It's why it keeps you alive even though you put it through stress every day. It creates its own mechanisms to keep you alive. And part of that is wanting to release that mucus, all that buildup from the winter. Now, this is a rough English translation of what Ayurveda teaches. I can go more in depth, but I want people to understand it. And so you cough because your body wants to expectorate that mucus and get it out of the body. You sneeze because there's things going in the airway and your body wants it not to go beyond that point. You get a temperature. Your body naturally wants to raise the temperature to kill off whatever it is that's in you, so it doesn't attack and spread. Now, when you suppress all those things, it stays in the body. You retain it. And then it's like, okay, fine. We're going to hold on to it. We're going to cover it in mucus more and thicken it up. And we'll just hold on to it because you don't want us to get rid of it yet. And so a few months later, you're experiencing those same symptoms. Now, you can call it allergies. You can call it virus, whatever. But those terms came about later in life. If you look back in time, even, a lot of witch doctors, right? Or Native American shamans and whatnot. If you were feeling a certain way, you would go into like a sweat box or whatever. They want you to sweat it out. That's how you release toxins. Part of the way you release toxins is through sweat, urination, and defecation. And if those three aren't normal, you're going to retain all those toxins and you're going to just see it repeat itself over time. So I just want to share this basic understanding of how you mimic nature in that way. And how nature essentially wants you to go through these things so that you don't hold on to them. I don't think that made sense, but it's just how it came out. Oh, geez. Going totally blank right now. I don't want to edit videos. I want them to be totally transparent. You're seeing me talk, drawing from the experiences I've had in life, and creating, a way for people to understand science, because I think a lot of times people just follow the news blindly because they don't know any better, and they don't want to do the research on their own. So they just expect someone else to do it for them. But if that's the case, follow people you actually resonate with. Don't just follow blindly, and look stuff up on your own, because essentially at the end of the day, you're your own advocate. At the end of the day, you have to make your own choices. I just remembered why I wanted to talk about it. You have to take responsibility for yourself. And so the reason that when I hear about viruses and whatnot and I don't take it seriously is because I take care of myself, and I take care of myself on a mind, body, and soul level. And if more people did that, you'd actually see a decrease in that stuff, because essentially it comes down to you and what you're doing to your body and how your body is responding. Viruses actually, I think, and this again is a personal statement. You can attack me however you want, but this is a personal statement. Viruses to me is shifting blame. And those of you who have followed me for a long time, and you've heard me say that before. If you don't take care of yourself on those three aspects, mind, body, and soul, body meaning like what you consume, the foods you eat, whether you exercise or move daily to get that energy flowing, you're creating a breeding ground for that stuff. And obviously, if you're not taking responsibility for yourself, you're going to blame something else. And that's why we've come up with all these names, terms, and labels over the past century, to shift blame, right? Instead of taking responsibility. If you were actually eating whole foods and moving daily, you'll be less likely to be experiencing these problems during this time of the year. But what do we all do during the holidays? We all consume high levels of alcohol. Guilty. We all consume high levels of sweets, sugar, things like that, which creates inflammation in the body. Guilty. I do those things. I do it in moderation now because I've taken my life experiences and realized I have to make these choices for me. I can't fall victim to these things that I can prevent. And again, I do believe in modern medicine. I think there's a time and place, but when it comes to prevention, you have to take responsibility for yourself. What are you putting into your body? What are you doing on a daily basis? That's essentially what it boils down to. And wanting to blame others for getting you sick, wanting to shift blame to like a thing that you can't even see, but people tell you exists. Again, do your own research. Whatever I say doesn't even matter. Like it doesn't matter if you don't believe it, right? At the end of the day, your belief is what it comes down to. So question your perception, like I always say. Nothing's changing based on this pandemic. I just want to share my opinion as I've always done. It's a personal thing. But question your perception. Do your research. Don't just follow. Don't just follow blindly. And again, even question the things I say. I want you to be an advocate for yourself. And again, everything comes down to the self. I love you. I hope you have a fabulous day ahead. And yeah, that's it.